What is your view of Fuentes?
I think, number one, he's a white supremacist, and I think he's an opportunist that has figured out how to make money being a white supremacist.
Your negligence to acknowledge the fact that his fans, his constituents, have been following him for 10 years. You know, this
What's that got to do with his anti-Semitism?
Hitler had followers.
Nick Fuentes is not MAGA. He's MAGIT. He trades in being a subhuman, mentally and conspiracy-minded, Neanderthal knuckle-dragger.
He's speaking Generation Z because they feel left out. Housing costs are going up. Trump has betrayed us.
You can't expect me to
Let's
be
do a different
silent
show for
when
Holocaust
someone
debate.
denies the Holocaust in front of the entire world. And let me just be clear.
I didn't deny the Holocaust. I think the number was exaggerated.
You don't give an SHIT about 6 million Jews being killed. We know
how people are
that's the
killed.
point.
This weekend, the Jerusalem Post published an editorial calling for the Pope to condemn Nick Fuentes. Its latest evidence that a man and a movement which many would rather pretend was a purely online phenomenon has become a very mainstream matter. As we've talked about on this show, Conservatives are openly split between those who believe the likes of Fuentes should be silenced and ignored and those who believe the right is now dabbling in its own form of cancel culture, especially when it comes to the other major dividing line of Israel. More to the point, many of the people clutching their pearls on both sides of the argument are failing to ask why he got so popular in the first place and whether MAGA needed and still needs the movement many would now like to disavow. Well, joining me to debate all this is Jake Shields from Fight Back podcast, Ben Ferguson, co-host of The Verdict with Ted Cruz, Rabbi Shmuley, author, often known as America's Rabbi, and Richie Black, the founder of the Safari Journal Company and a right-wing commentator. Okay, welcome to all of you. Rabbi Shmuley, welcome back to Uncensored. Nick Fuentes has a growing number of followers, a growing amount of influence. The more people have tried to cancel him, the more his views have become more widely disseminated and the more popular he seems to have got. What do you feel about this? And what do you think should be done about it?
Nick Fuentes is not MAGA. He's MAGIT. He trades in being a subhuman, mentally and conspiracy-minded, Neanderthal knuckle-dragger. He is utterly ignorant. He knows no history. And his MAGA is Make America German. Amen. He is just using a Hitlerian playbook. He says that Hitler is his hero. There's a lot of similarities, of course. You become famous by targeting Jews. He's not anti-Israel. He's an anti-Semite. He's a Holocaust denier. Hitler traded an anti-Semitism beginning in 1921-22 because it was the way to become the most famous. History has shown if you hate the Jews, Jews are news. So when you ask how did he become so famous, it is specifically his anti-Semitism. The question is he transactionally anti-Semitic or is he ideologically anti-Semitic? I think it's both. But the way he speaks about blacks, that blacks should all be returned to slavery, and that if you go to a black neighborhood, you're going to be stabbed in the neck, that they're all murderers. We've seen this, of course, with Hitler, who wouldn't even shake Jesse Owens' hands when Jesse Owens dominated the 1936 Olympics, winning 4 gold medals. And you know, but Fuentes is playing with fire because in the same way the Nazi movement cultivated hatred they could no longer contain, you have Tucker Carlson saying openly that Nick Fuentes is gay, which I couldn't care less. I have a gay brother. But Ernst Röhm, who was the head of the SA, was killed by Hitler in large part because he was gay. And at some point, Fuentes' followers are going to turn on him because just like Hitler didn't look Aryan in the slightest, neither does Fuentes. He's not this white Norwegian Aryan Ubermensch Superman. He's actually a short, weird guy, kind of like the way Hitler was. He has all these weird tics. He's famous because hatred sells, and hatred towards the Jews sells. And when you come along and you stoke those fires of such incendiary racism against blacks, against Jews, it's going to turn on you. And I think Fuentes is really at risk from his own people. I'm never going to touch him. I wish him a long life and increasing marginalization and invisibility. But I think that his own MAGIT movement is going to turn on him.
All right, Richie Black, I can see you pulling some faces there, so you can respond.
Yeah, well, I lost count, honestly. I mean, I lost count of how many lies that was just admitted. Where do we begin? Obviously, Rabbi Shmuley is part of the tone-deaf majority who are more than likely the cause of the rise of Nick Fuentes. When you start off the conversation with lobbying insults, first and foremost, and mentioning something about his height and his looks, you're completely neglecting the fact that at this point, and in my generation in particular, we see this as an emergency. We don't care about what he looks like. Mentioning that Hitler killed Strom because he was homosexual, which is not true. That's obviously a very complicated thing. Or the Jesse Owens statement, which, again, I believe Jesse Owens made a statement that Hitler actually called him to congratulate him, and the president of the U.S. at the time did not. So food for thought there. But this is a cheap tactic, and it's one that's been overly used over and over. And I really want to warn people like Rabbi Shmuley and anybody who uses this tactic, because ultimately what you're doing, what you're forcing people to do, is to de-radicalize this movement, de-radicalize these words. When you lobby these words, anti-Semitism, and you say, well, you're not allowed at the table unless you're if you're an anti-Semite. Well, you're putting it on us to first de-radicalize what it means to be an anti-Semite so we get a spot at the table. Nick Fuentes is correcting an imbalance in the conservative movement that's been going on for 20 plus years. He's pointing out the obvious flaws that we need to pay attention, to pull away from foreign influence and control to become a sovereign nation once again. He's never said anything about putting blacks back in chains. And, if you're going to go off of clip editing and then sensationalism, obviously he's very sensational right now, you're being intellectually dishonest. You're being...
Well, let's play a clip. Let me play a clip of Fuentes, and we can discuss this after we've watched it.
What are all of these groups? Who are these people? What are they actually? The World Jewish Congress, the Jewish Leadership Conference, the Jewish Federations of North America. What are we to make of this? This is totally unique. There is no other group of people that does this. I'm Italian, Mexican, and Irish. Is there anything comparable for any of these groups? Is there a World Irish Congress chaired by billionaires and bankers?
No, I mean, that strikes me as pretty openly anti-Semitic, because of course there are plenty of groups around the world for all sorts of nationalities and religious and ethnic groups. Of course there are. We all know that. So the idea that somehow this is unique to Jewish people is preposterous. The guy is clearly anti-Semitic, isn't he? I mean, there's no even pretense to not be.
No, he's not. He's not. I'm gonna jump in again. I'm sorry, he's not. You're taking a clip out of context. Here's the thing.
What was the out of context?
Well, first and foremost, I'm saying you have to really listen.
Hang on, don't, Rabbi Shmuley, let me just handle this.
Rabbi Shmuley, you're
hang on, Richie Black, I'm very curious.
They did a real disservice.
Hang on. When you say, Richie Black, when you say we took it out of context, explain how that was taken. It seemed pretty straightforward context to me.
I'll tell you why. Because, first of all, you're taking it out of context because you have to take in the full scope of everything Nick says, not only in one of his shows, but over the course of time. His fans, the people that are loyal to him, the people that are pushing for America first, these aren't people that just showed up yesterday, and this is where you really lose out. Your negligence to acknowledge the fact that his fans, his constituents, have been following him for 10 years.
What's that got to do with his anti-Semitism?
Hitler had followers. Mussolini had followers. Stalin had followers.
I'm curious. Jake, I will bring you in, and Ben, I will bring you in. But just, Richie, just to be clear, you said that clip was taken out of context. I can't understand how it was taken out of context. It was very straightforward. What was the out of context?
First and foremost, what I'm suggesting is what you're lobbying as anti-Semitism. You're suggesting that Nick hates all Jews? Is that what you're suggesting? What does it mean anymore to be anti-Semitic? Because
if you say you openly love Adolf Hitler, you probably don't care that he murdered millions of Jews.
I would definitely argue if your assumption is that somebody who has any adoration for Adolf Hitler is obviously anti-Semitic, then you yourself have not dived into history and or looked at the subjugation or the persecution of those.
I can't believe we're hearing this. If I love the Klan,
of course you can't believe it, because this is a new age. America must rise to the occasion to address the issue of people like you. This is the new age, and it's happening full speed ahead.
Wait. You have told so many lies. Number one, Adolf Hitler never called Jesse Owens. That is a total fabrication. Wait, that is a total fabrication. Number two, when No. Let me speak, please. Number two, when Nick Fuentes says that there is no other similar group like the Jewish Federation, you don't know how many Irish Americans supported the IRA. You know how many Mexican organizations have Latino congresses.
Listen,
Nick Fuentes is as ignorant as you.
Nick Fuentes and defending America first.
And I am allowed to bring up. Excuse me.
We are not
and
talking
I am
about Jewish
allowed
Americans.
to bring up his appearance when he wants white Americans to rule America.
Oh, you're talking over each other. Don't talk over each other, please.
No, he won't let anyone speak.
Okay.
If you love Hitler,
if you
hate
both
Jews,
talk at
period.
once, we can't hear either of you. We can't hear either if you talk at once. December is Heart Awareness Month, which makes you think differently about the busy holidays. Stress rises, routines slip, and our bodies, especially the heart and blood vessels, feel the impact. Supporting healthy circulation becomes more than a wellness goal. It's essential. That's why it's important to boost your natural nitric oxide levels to keep the blood moving. Blood Flow 7 by Juvenon is a natural daily supplement. It's specifically designed to support healthy circulation so you can feel energized, clear-headed, and vibrant again. Packed with natural ingredients, it works by boosting nitric oxide levels to relax the blood vessels, helping blood flow freely. That means more oxygen and nutrients to your brain, heart, and muscles. All with one dose a day to improve stamina, heart, health, and vitality, all without caffeine or stimulants. Try Blood Flow 7 today and feel the difference where it matters most, inside your veins. Visit bloodflow7.com/uncensored and get 30% off your Blood Flow 7 order today. Ben, look, there's a real battle raging within the conservative right in America. And to pretend that Fuentes is not gathering fame, infamy, whatever you want to call it, support, following, notoriety, attention, probably the thing he craves most, and making tons of money out of it, is to put your head in the sand. So he is a phenomenon that is getting bigger, not smaller. What is your view of Fuentes? Obviously, Tucker Carlson sat with him and got criticised for not going hard at him enough and so on. What is your view of Fuentes?
I think, number one, he's a white supremacist, and I think he's an opportunist that has figured out how to make money being a white supremacist. Forget the Jewish issue for just a second. This is a guy a year and a half ago that talked about somebody littering in a neighborhood, saying it's a black guy, and it's always black people that do this, and he would kill him with Adolf Hitler. That's his exact words on his show. Quote, "This is my neighborhood. I'm supposed to be mad at Hitler. I'm supposed to be crossed with Hitler. I want this guy dead, and I wish Hitler would kill him. I wish Hitler would have killed him, you know. The guy should be killed. The guy should be killed for what that guy should be dragged from his car and beaten to death by the public. If I was in a room with Hitler and that guy, me and Hitler would team up and blank that guy up. We would kill that guy and we'd high five at the end." So this is an individual who hates anyone that
It's
it's
funny,
not funny
it's a
when you
joke.
talk about
It's
black when you
hilarious.
talk about
No, it is funny
dragging a
because
black
your age is
person and
showing.
killing
Don't
him.
talk at once. Let Ben finish his point,
Let me
please.
finish.
Sorry.
This is the difference between, and I'm glad that you guys are on the show because I actually think it does a great service to show the excommunication in the real conservative movement of white supremacists like you guys that laugh about killing black people or laugh about the Holocaust or deny. Let me finish. Let me just finish. You can talk in a moment. You can. I'm happy to have a conversation with you. I go back to the core here with Nick. Nick is an individual that has figured out how to basically use stooges like you guys to make money off of being a white supremacist. He has been excommunicated from anybody that's saying the Republican Party. He is not a part of the Republican Party or movement. There are very few people, and the proof of that is the fact that you can name them. It's Candace Owens, it's Tucker Carlson, it's Nick Fuentes. It's an extremely small group, all of them making money off of, I think, real racists and gathering them together and then acting as if they have this power. They're just making money and trolling you guys with their white supremacy. So I'm glad that they're being called out. I'm glad that they're being exposed. I think the scary part is they do gather people, just like the KKK did back in the day, just like Adolf Hitler did, just like Mussolini and Stalin and many others have. But the difference here is, at least the conservative movement, many of my good friends in the movement are calling them out on a daily basis because they understand the threat it is to conservatism, and we police our own. So I'm sorry you guys want to be associated with them. I'm sorry that you think the Holocaust didn't happen, or gas chambers didn't happen, or black people should be killed or dragged, or the N-word is appropriate to refer to African Americans. But this is
I
white supremacy.
Okay.
I'm going to give.
All right,
I'm
no,
gonna
hang
give
on,
Jake-
no,
I'm gonna
hang
give
on.
Jake-
I will
Can
control
for
the
a
panel. Right, the Jerusalem Post editorial, which teed up this debate, said that Fuentes and Candace Owens represent a direct and dangerous challenge. They undermine decades of attempts at reconciliation between Catholics and Jews, and they prey on young Catholics, offering them a vision that fuses religious identity with outright bigotry. And the longer the Vatican remains silent, the more their poison spreads. Just before I move on to the other panelists, Ben, do you think the Pope should speak out?
Of course. And look, real leaders lead on issues like this, and they don't see how many followers they may gain or lose. I think that's the saddest part about what you're witnessing with not only the Pope and the lack of leadership there, but with people like Tucker Carlson. I think he's been isolated since he lost his TV show. I think he's found a new audience in white supremacists. I think he gives an audience to these supremacists to come on, and he does make a hell of a lot of money. I mean, if your goal is to be a multimillionaire and to stack cash, it works. Candace and Tucker are part of that. Nick is part of that. But there's others that have to call them out and be loud about it. I don't do this because I'm trying to make money. I do this because I love this country. There is right and wrong. There's a line in the sand. And I say to every conservative I know out there, you're either on the side of Tucker and Candace and Nick, and you're a white supremacist that hates Jews and denies the Holocaust, or you're on the side of right and wrong.
Candace
That's
is a
where
white
we are.
supremacist.
All right, let me bring in.
Okay.
Piers,
Hang on, Rabbi Shmuley. I will. Jake Shields hasn't spoken yet. All I would say is, I would say that I don't. Look, I think you said a lot of things there about Tucker in particular. I've just spent some time with Tucker today in London, actually, for his show, and I don't recognise some of the things you said about him. Just to be clear.
Well, what though? I mean, he's given an audience. The
I don't think he
difference
hates
here is
Jews, for example.
I've known him.
I don't think Tucker
I don't think
hates
he likes
Jews.
them.
I don't think he hates
gives
Jews.
But this is what I would say to Tucker. And I saw Tucker recently. I've known Tucker for a really long time, Piers. The problem I have with Tucker is you're dabbling in anti-Semitism by saying, well, I'm not the guy saying it, but let me give a seat at the table to a very large audience of people that are saying it. You're using stooges to say it and giving them a platform. That is no different than giving a safe haven to a terrorist if you're in the Middle East, or to somebody that's killing the Jews when Adolf Hitler was around. You must call it out. You cannot sit there and say, I am not an anti-Semite, but please, anti-Semites, come on my show and let's fester this evil in the world. I will. But
I have a lot of
Tucker
people.
out for that.
I've had it there, but Ben, I've had a lot of people on this show since the start of the war between Israel and Hamas, for example, who many on the Jewish side would say are anti-Semites, right? Simultaneously, those on the pro-Palestinian... Wait a minute, Rabbi Shmuley. Those on the Palestinian side make the same charge against what they say are the Zionist terrorists on the other side. So it depends who you talk to, how these things get categorized.
And here's what I would say. If you have a massive
Wait a minute,
audience...
Rabbi Shmuley.
At some point,
I will come back. I want to bring Jake. Look, Jake hasn't spoken yet. Jake, you interviewed... All right, Jake Shields, you interviewed Nick Fuentes a year ago. I want to show a little intro to that interview where you gave your reasons for mainstreaming him, because it's relevant to this debate.
Yes.
Guys, I'm here with the notorious Nick Fuentes. It's a very interesting guest because you are so vilified. I kind of believed it and fully believe it. I remember hearing like you're Nazi, white supremacist. The only thing I saw was negativity about you. It was this negativity, and you had no voice. You were banned from literally everything. So then I think I started texting you. We had a couple phone calls, and you were so not the guy that I thought you were. And then I don't know, a year ago or something, we met up, had dinner in Chicago, and it was just, you seemed like such a genuine, normal guy. And that's when I'm like, all right, I was completely lied to. I was wrong about this guy. I want to do something, try to help you get mainstream again a little bit, which you are starting to slowly move that direction. I just think it's just crazy how bad they're able to vilify you.
I mean, what I would say, Jake Shields, is it's not that crazy when you judge him by what he's actually said on the record. I'll give you some examples. A lot of women want to be raped, but they have to pretend that they don't. Jim Crow was better for black people, but who cares? White people are every bit justified in being racist. Hitler was really fucking cool. He compared the Holocaust to baking 6 million cookies. Now, none of those things strike me as being anything but utterly repellent, and yet you decided he was mischaracterized.
Yes, because will you let me talk? First off, I met
Sure.
him through a black friend. You're saying he wants to kill black people. If you watch his show, he jokes a lot. Humor, Generation Z. You guys don't understand that. And when he was talking about girls getting raped, he's talking about rape fantasies. 56% of girls, or maybe it was like 70-something% of girls, have rape fantasies. This is the reality. He's not saying he wants to rape girls. The cooking thing, look up the numbers. They say it was they claim they were burning bodies in 10 minutes. It takes 90 minutes to burn a body now, so there's a little bit of validity to that argument. Nick was nice.
But you're denying the 6
respectful,
million Jews
and
died in the
also-
Holocaust.
Grapes.
Are you denying
Yeah,
those?
I'm just saying. I'm
Well,
saying
what
it
are you
doesn't
saying?
match up with the furnaces. I don't know. I'm not making a comment on that. I'm saying there's some holes.
Well, you
in
are.
it.
You're
I
questioning.
have
You're
this
questioning. You're
Well,
questioning.
it's cra-
You're
You wanna do
questioning the
math?
number of
Do you wanna
people
do
who
the
were
math?
killed in the Holocaust.
Okay.
Today's show is sponsored by Oxford Natural, makers of the Optimum Day and Optimum Night all-natural supplements. Thousands of Brits and Americans are already taking them with incredible results. Optimum Day boosts your energy and supports weight loss throughout the day. Optimum Night helps you relax and get deep, refreshing sleep. They have countless success stories, including from some very familiar faces. England legend Michael Owen, who lost 40 pounds, AFTV's Robbie, who lost more than 100 pounds. To watch their full stories and many more, scan the QR code on your screen or visit oxfordnatural.com/peers. And here's the best part. Use the code PEERS and get 70% off your first order. Yes, 70% off with the code PEERS.
Do you think that they were burning bodies in 10 minutes?
Yeah.
I think they were burning bodies in
Okay,
gas chambers
so-
and then mass
This is
graves.
irrelevant.
So
If
you
you've ever been-
think
if
it
you've ever
was
been to where this
the?
happened,
So
you
you
would know
think it
that.
was the fastest? You think it? Oh, do I need to go look at? So you think it was 10 times faster than today's furnaces? Okay.
How
but
fast
that's
would
not
have been
the point I'm trying
acceptable to
make,
you?
But it's ridiculous.
How fast would be
What's that?
acceptable to you?
Pierce.
God, I mean, it's scary.
I don't even care about the gas chamber
Pierce,
thing.
Pierce,
The
Pierce,
You
point
don't
is-
even care about the gas chamber thing.
If you're
I think you
Jewish,
just
someone
expressed a
says the
desire you
Holocaust
did.
did not
If
happen.
you were
All right.
Jewish, you would.
I will let
Yes,
Rabbi
I
Shmuley
don't
respond
think
to
they could
that
have burned
point.
bodies that
You can't-
fast.
you can't-
I
okay.
don't think
Can I-
they
can
burned.
I-
But can I
Jake
finish
Shields,
my
Jake
point?
Shields,
I didn't even get to the point I'm trying to make. I'm not even. I don't give a shit about the.
Hold on.
Yes.
How many people do you think
You
were
don't.
killed
You
in
don't
the
give an
Holocaust
shit
then?
about 6 million
I
Jews
don't
being
fucking
killed. We
know
know
how many
that.
people
That's
were
the
killed.
point. That we know
Okay,
you
so
don't.
you're
Hold on.
admitting.
That's
Hold on.
amazing.
I
So you're
don't know how many was
admitting-
killed, and I
you're
don't
admitting-
believe it was 6 million, but I'm not
So-
trying to have a Holocaust debate.
That's crazy.
You literally
So
are
you-
trying to have a
Let's
Holocaust
do a
debate.
different-
You can't expect me to be
Let's do a different
silent
show for
when
Holocaust
someone
debate.
denies the Holocaust in front of the entire world. And let me just be clear.
I didn't deny
Number
the
one,
Holocaust. I think the number was
Pope Pius-
exaggerated.
excuse me, Jake. Give me a moment,
Can we
please,
get
okay?
back to our
This is
subject?
not.
we
Jake. This
should.
is not an MMA fight. This is a debate. Number one, Pius XII
Okay, I didn't get to finish my point,
remains
though.
in ignominy and Pope Pius will not even be beatified or made into a saint by the church because he was silent about Hitler. And now, if Pope Leo, who is Pope for
How many
6 months,
how many
does
Christians
not
died
speak
in World
out
War
against-
II? How many
against
Christians died?
Against
I'm
Candace
writing that
Owens, who's a Catholic,
How many
or
Christians
against
died in World
Fuentes,
War II?
he will immeasurably undermine his moral stance. That's number one. Number two, the utter
don't we have
lies
another
and
show
the
for the
ignorance of
Holocaust?
people like Jake Shields. Jake Shields doesn't know anything. If I ask him the
they're
names
magic-
of
they're
Treblinka,
magic
Maidana,
furnaces?
Grossrosen,
As
Bergen-Belsen,
furnaces.
they're-
Yeah, I know all those.
Stop
On
with the
every single
furnaces.
one, they
By the
keep
way,
jumping
Jake,
numbers down.
Jake. Forget how long it takes to burn a body. Let me ask you one question. Since you're a great Nazi lover like Nick Fuentes,
Sure.
why is it the Third Reich? What is the Third Reich? Just tell me, what is the Third Reich? Where's the first two Reichs? What are they?
I'm not a
You don't-
Nazi.
you
I don't
even
know.
the
I
Reich.
have
You have
no
no clue.
idea.
No.
I'm
You
not
have
a
no
Nazi.
clue
I'm not
about
a
what even the
Nazi,
Third
nor have
Reich
I
is.
claimed to
There
be.
was the Holy Roman Empire, then there was Wilhelm II, then there was. You don't know anything. You're just using something
But
about
I do
crematorium. You
know
don't even know how many
furnaces
evidence
can't
there were at
burn
Auschwitz.
bodies in 10
What I
minutes.
do know, what I
I know
do
they
know
can't
is
burn
the
bodies in
reason
10
why
minutes.
you
I
want
do know that.
the reason why you want to minimize the
This
Holocaust.
isn't what I
and
was
you're
trying
on
to talk
record as
about.
saying
I
that
had
not
a
one
point
Jew
that I
was
was trying
killed
to make,
is because
and you're
Jewish
getting-
life to you is like
See, I
cattle
mentioned one
being
thing and you
slaughtered.
guys-
In the same
a
way,
Jew-
in the
No,
same
that's how
way
you
you
think of
don't
a
know.
Palestinian
In the
child.
same
All
way
right,
you
all right,
don't
let me
know.
jump in.
literally
Let me
call
jump in.
Palestinians child.
Let me
I
jump
care
in.
about
Pierce,
Jewish
I
life
can't
as much
speak.
as
I'm
I care
jumping
about
in.
all life.
All right,
Holocaust
Rabbi Shmuley,
mainstream,
I am
then I can't
jumping.
speak.
Rabbi Shmuley, let me speak. I would say this, Jake Shields.
I care about all life
hang
equally.
hang on. You say you don't want to talk about the Holocaust, and yet you're the one that brought it up. You're the one questioning the number of people who were killed. That is deeply offensive.
You brought it.
That is
You brought
deeply
it up.
offensive
You
to
brought it
Jewish
up saying-
people.
saying-
Well, no, I
you
read you
brought
some
it up
quotes by
saying good
Fuentes.
heavens.
Right, but
He's
you're
right with
but
the
you
math.
say
It
you don't want to
doesn't
talk about it,
match.
and then
I'm
you
just
say
saying the
something
math doesn't match.
you have no basis for
You
your
brought it
argument.
up.
You have no basis to
I have a lot
justify
of
your argument.
I have a lot of basis.
Well, you don't
They
actually.
couldn't have cooked that many cookies.
You don't. And actually, what you're saying.
How many crematoria? He doesn't even know how many ovens
Please
there
don't
were
all
at
talk at
Auschwitz.
once.
He doesn't even know. He doesn't know
Please
anything.
don't all talk at once, or nobody can hear
Mr.
a
Shields,
word.
how many
Nobody can hear any of
You
you.
have no clue,
No
do
one
you?
can
You
hear
don't know
any
what
of you
Zyklon B is.
if you all talk at once. Now,
Let
here's
me
my
say this.
point.
I haven't had a
My
time-
point
I
to
haven't
you,
had a chance to
Jake Shields, is
respond to any of
you
this.
said something deliberately inflammatory, which you knew would be deeply
You brought
offensive.
the Holocaust.
Huh?
Well, the math doesn't add up.
The math doesn't add up.
I'm going to take a shoot somebody in the back
Can
of
I
the head.
finish my point that I was trying to make?
This is exactly
Well,
what they're
finish the
trying to
point
do,
you were
by the way.
trying to make.
Anybody who's listening,
You know what? There's a Holocaust going on
today.
today in Gaza.
What's the point you were going to make?
Really? Really? There's a Holocaust going on today in Gaza?
There's a yes.
Which
yes.
Holocaust?
So we can see.
Wait.
Please stop
Piers,
talking
Piers.
all at once.
See, this is...
I'll let you respond, Rabbi
Piers, why don't
Shmuley.
you- why
But
don't
unless
you say
people
who
make
should-
their
okay,
points,
can I
there's no
respond?
point having a debate. So let him finish
let
his
me
point.
make my
Rabbi, I'll
point.
debate.
Right.
How about we? How about me?
Please shut up, all of you.
respond?
Jake Shields, make your point
May
now.
I respond?
I just try to say he's speaking Generation Z because they feel left out. Housing costs are going up. Trump has betrayed us. He said no more foreign wars. What does he do? Bombs Iran. He didn't stop the war in Russia and Ukraine. He allowed Israel to slaughter the most brutal thing we've ever seen in Gaza. He's talking about going to the war with Venezuela. Inflation's up. He's betrayed Thomas Massey and Green. What's he do? He's bringing over tons of visas for Chinese and Indian workers to give away to the high-paying jobs. Regular Americans suffering, the young people, a lot of boomers don't understand. It's tough out there, and he speaks directly to them. And he jokes a lot. He's not a racist. He has his humor. You guys don't get like the Generation Z humor. It's
I don't get
edgier.
racist
They
humor
don't
and
care about
Holocaust
World
and
War
our humor.
II.
I don't.
I don't think
Okay,
saying
but
Hitler
they-
was
but they
really
do.
fucking
You
cool
don't,
is
but they
humor.
do.
Here's
Black people-
here's
black
the problem.
people love Nick.
Here's the problem.
I'd love to jump in. I haven't had an
Right,
opportunity
I
to
will
jump
come
in.
to
I
each
haven't
of
had an
you,
opportunity.
but please let each
Let
other
me
speak.
respond.
Otherwise, nobody
Let me
can hear you.
respond.
I can promise you, the viewers at home, if you all start talking, no one can hear any of you. Ben.
Yeah, there's three things here. One, I'm glad that what you just witnessed was said, and this goes back to what I was saying earlier. You have a group of individuals that's very small that is out there saying absurd things like the Holocaust didn't happen, they didn't cook that many cookies, referring to Jewish lives. How long does it take to shoot somebody in the back of the head? You can figure that out. It doesn't take very long. How long does it take to dig a mass grave? How long does it take to do a gas chamber? The idea that you are dehumanizing
Take 90
people that are
minutes to burn a
Jewish.
body, though.
and-
Let him
and
finish,
imply-
please.
They didn't burn 6 million, my friend. And if you actually studied the Holocaust and you understood what happened and you have gone to where this happened, you haven't, dude. You don't know what you're talking about. If you did, you would not say something this incompetent based on facts. You're saying it based on regurgitating something you heard from Nick or somebody else. Have you ever
No,
been to
the
Israel?
official narrative
Have you
they
ever
burnt
been
the
to the
bodies in 10
kibbutz?
minutes. Yep,
Have you
yes,
ever
I have.
been
Yes,
to
I've
Germany?
been to Israel.
You've been
Yes,
to
I've been
Germany.
to Israel.
And you've been
Yeah,
to the kibbutzes.
yes.
And you've been to Gaza, where I've been, and you've seen what happened after, and you've been to where the side
I
of.
wasn't allowed in Gaza, but I've been to Israel.
Okay, so you've been to where
you've been-
people were murdered, Jews were killed in Germany. Have you done that as well?
No.
No. Okay, so you
camps
read
that
it
were
from
rebuilt in
someone,
1947
and
after
you
the war.
and you believe that you're changing people's minds by implying that one of the worst moments in the world's history, the extermination of Jews, is something that we should downplay and then say, well, maybe they didn't burn as many bodies, maybe because they shot them in the back of the head or they put them in gas
Jews were
chambers.
killed, but no, I think Jews.
no, but
I think
it's
Jews
clear
were
you
100%
think that it's
killed,
not
but why,
a big
but why
deal.
can't we? Why can't? Of course, I think it was a big deal. I'm just saying we should be able to discuss the number.
No,
we
I
can
don't.
discuss
I don't
the number
because anyone
of the
watching right
Armenian
now,
genocide.
anyone that's
Piers, can I
watching right
ask-
now
can I
sees
ask
you
if-
acting as if this is something that didn't actually take place. That is anti-Semitism, and I
never
would
said
say
that.
to you
I think it did.
respectfully.
How is that anti-Semitism to question
But
the numbers?
Jake, can I ask a question?
Because
why
you're
is this whole conversation
downplaying
about
the
the Jews?
Holocaust and the
I thought
extermination of Jews. You're literally downplaying it and implying
I thought this
that you should
conversation was about
question it.
affordability and America first.
Am I going to be able to talk?
Why
I
is
have not
Nick
had a chance to
Fuentes
talk.
obsessed with? Wait, can I ask one question to all of you, please? Why are we talking about the Jews? I thought so. I'm being told by
Great
Mr. Black
question.
and Mr.
Great
Shields that
question.
Nick Fuentes
That's exactly the
appeals
point.
Wait, please let me speak, and I won't interrupt you. I'm being told that Nick Fuentes appeals to a crass generation with an incredible sense of humor about rape and about blacks being criminals and Jews being cookies who are baked, but he doesn't mean it. But he appeals to them because of affordability and because they're being left out, and that was the MAGA movement. How did this come back to whether the Jews, 6 million Jews were killed? How did this come back to the Jews control the banks? How did this come back to
answer that
committing a
question.
genocide?
I can answer that question.
Wait. No, don't interrupt me, please. Please don't interrupt me. Nick Fuentes doesn't appeal to any social or economic policies. He appeals to pure, unadulterated anti-Semitism, which is why, if we've been speaking now for 40 minutes, 39 minutes have been about the Jews. I have every right to bring up the appearance of Nick Fuentes when his whole thing is about appearance. White supremacy. Why are white people superior to black people? Let me go on. How does Israel come into this conversation? Nick Fuentes didn't criticize Israel. He criticized the American Jewish Congress. He thinks Jews have no place here. But let me ask you a question. When I say that his movement will turn against him, it will not bring the Jewish community who will bring Nick Fuentes down. He's going to self-implode. He's going to step on a metaphorical grenade because, as he said, he's Irish, he's Mexican, he's gay. His people hate anyone who are not part of the Aryan white supremacy, and they're going to turn on him like they did on Ernst Röhm, 1934, Night of the Long Knives.
All right, let me bring it. All right, don't all talk at once. Thank you. Don't all start shouting.
It's about
Don't all start
Jew hatred.
Okay, Richie Black, your response. Mando deodorant is a game changer. I've been using it and I won't go back. Total freshness for up to 72 hours and the scents are exceptional. Bourbon leather is an instant classic, clean and bold. It's safe anywhere on the body, it's baking soda free, and it's ideal for after the gym. Mando Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, and free shipping. As a special offer for you, new customers get 20% off site-wide with our exclusive code. Use code PIERS, P-I-E-R-S, at shopmando.com for 20% off site-wide and free shipping. Shopmando.com. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Mando has got you covered.
First and foremost, Rabbi Shmuley, you have put your foot so far in your own mouth that you're choking on it. The rest of Con Inc. and neocons are drowning as well, and this is why they're panicking, by the way. You know, I like being on this panel because you guys make me feel young, by the way. You make me feel young in a panel full of fossils. I want to address, by the way, what Dave said earlier about Nick. This is really important as somebody who's Catholic. I have a real big problem with what you just said about him pulling Catholic young men. Is it Dave or the guy in the middle? I already lost his name. Sorry.
Ben.
What's the guy in the middle? Ben. Sorry. My apologies. Ben.
It would be Ben.
It would be Ben. Okay, sorry. So, Ben, you mentioned that Nick is pulling Catholic young men down the wrong road. You don't know these people.
I didn't say that.
These are my friends. No, you're suggesting that the Jerusalem Post should, in fact, don't interrupt me. I didn't interrupt you.
I didn't say that. I just
it was the Jerusalem Post that said that.
Let me make a comment about that.
It was the Jerusalem Post that said it, not Ben.
Thank you. I didn't say that. I was correcting you. So don't put words in my mouth.
He was. Fine, I won't put words in your mouth, but you were defending the position of the Jerusalem Post to do this, right? I know a lot of these young men who have started lost, addicted to pornography, addicted to violence, addicted to all these things that are troubling them. They find Nick Fuentes, they become Catholic. They become confirmed Catholics. They change their lives. They become better people. Some of these people...
Many people that watch him also become white supremacists.
No, they don't. No, they don't. I'll tell you right now. Because
yes, they do. Oh, my gosh. I think that would insult Nick Fuentes.
Let me finish talking. You don't even know what a white supremacist is. I guarantee you. And you know what?
I'm looking at one right now.
No.
I'm looking at one right now. I know what a white supremacist looks like.
I almost don't want to correct you because you know what? If I correct you and you eventually figure it out, if you eventually figure out what you're doing wrong, then we will lose in terms of those who are coming up and taking control of the conservative movement because you guys are rogue to fossils.
You're not ever going to win this battle.
You're played out.
As long as I'm right, you are a white supremacist. You said I don't know what one looks like.
No,
You're literally a definition of a white supremacist.
You can't even define white supremacist. And you pick Jake Shields and Rita.
I absolutely can. Do you want me to say it again?
We have plenty of black friends. We
actually I got a black friend. I got one black friend. I got a Jewish friend.
No. Well, certainly you're not a threat if you're obviously willing to work with Jewish American voices. Obviously you're not a threat if you're willing to host black people on your show. You have no idea what a white supremacist is. I'll tell you right now.
What is your definition of white supremacist? Someone that wants to kill black people and Jews and anyone that doesn't look like them. What is your definition of a white supremacist?
I will give you the definition if you just shut up. So
please, tell me.
Moving forward, I'll give you the definition, but let me finish my thought, and I will move to that definition, okay?
You haven't figured out on the fly?
This is the problem. No, I don't have to figure it out on the fly. You don't even know how to define it? I know you're not a white supremacist. Nick is obviously not a white supremacist. Give it a rest. First of all, a white supremacist is what?
Definition of a white supremacist.
That white people are supreme? This is not the conversation we're having, okay? And also,
because you're hanging out with white supremacists.
No. First and foremost,
Nick Fuentes is a white supremacist. You're probably not trying to figure that out.
I let you finish. Let me finish. I let you finish. Let me finish.
But you cannot dominate the entire show. Make your point. What's a white supremacist? Say it already. Spit it out. What is a white supremacist? Stop teasing us. You're not a host teasing a commercial. What is a white supremacist, Mr. Black?
Keep going.
Well, let me intervene. Let me intervene, please.
There it is. That's simple.
Let me intervene. Let me ask Richie Black. Let me ask Richie Black. Shut up, please. Richie Black, what is a white supremacist?
A white supremacist is somebody who believes white people are supreme over all races. Nick obviously doesn't feel that way. I don't feel that way. Jake doesn't feel that way. We are American nationalists, and this threatens you. We're young, and this threatens you. We're replacing neocons, and this is threatening you. Connie is
I actually thought you were smarter than this.
America first is on the rise. America must rise to the occasion. And as far as somebody who said he was an opportunist, Nick just started the America First Foundation.
That would be me, by the way.
Everyone go donate, by the way.
Because Jake Shields, you wanted to jump in.
Yeah, I just want to add, if you look at me and Nick Fuentes on Twitter, we are constantly being attacked by the real white supremacists because we're not white supremacists. These people go probably harder after us than they do you guys because they're mad that we're not taking their stance. They're like, oh, you guys are race traitors, this and that, because we stick up for all races that want to have right ideology. We're just sick of Israel. This country gives them billions of dollars. What do? They bomb us, killing 34 Americans. I'm wearing Philip Turney, a real patriot, gave me this shirt.
Finally, God.
Yeah, the truth. The Levant affair.
It's about Jews,
anti-Semitism, right there.
Yeah, about Israel.
All four of you are currently talking.
American traitors is for Israel over America. It's America first, America only. We are sick and tired of working for Israel. We are done serving your country. You should move to Israel.
We got it. I got it. By the way, Piers, may I speak, please, without their interruption?
Oh, yeah, not wanting Americans to be killed. My friend Phil Turney, 34 Americans were killed, and I'm an anti-Semitic. Bring that up.
Please control yourself now. Mr. Shields.
You guys are the ones killing Americans.
Pierce, may I speak?
Yes.
Mr. Shields.
No, go ahead. I'm letting you.
May I point out, Mr. Shields, that we're in the 250th birthday of the United States. If France had not come with their fleet to Yorktown, you would be still speaking with a British accent. Democracies support one another, and Israel's the only democracy. But Israel is a tiny, tiny fragment of what American aid goes to. Ukraine has received $100 billion in American aid over the past 2 years. That doesn't bother you. Wait. And you know why? You know why it doesn't bother you? You know why it doesn't bother you? No, but you didn't say I'm tired of the Ukrainians controlling America. You said Israel. Hold on. You are interrupting me. You said then you said that you're sick of my country. I was born in frickin' Los Angeles, California, you damn racist, so
but you
stop
represent
it.
Israel,
Jews can be as American as you. Now, number two. Now, excuse me, don't interrupt me. I love Israel with all my heart. Number two, just like Irish Americans still love Ireland. Number two. When you say that someone, Mr. Black, is not a white supremacist because they think that it's about America first, that's pure garbage. You are the Klan. You are Nathan Bedford Forrest. Great. You are the Confederacy.
Okay,
the
cool.
Confederacy was all about believing,
funded the
excuse me,
Klan.
that white, that's
Your
the color of
playbook
someone's
is
skin
failing, by the
made them
way, so this is
automatically
good.
superior. Not their character,
Ultimately,
not their
this
morality,
aids-
not their
this
values,
aids
not their
us. This
sacrifice.
really
We
does.
don't-
wait,
we don't
and
believe
I'll
that.
tell you
We
more,
said
and I'll
that
tell you more,
very
and I'll
clearly.
tell
You
you,
don't
and
even
I will
listen to
tell
what
you,
we say.
and I will tell you more. And Mr. Black and Mr. Shields, you're saying that America is controlled by Israel? Do you know how many 450,000
Yes.
Americans died to
Obviously
liberate
they're controlled by
France?
Israel.
Wait,
Get
France,
real.
Belgium, Holland, the Netherlands,
They
Norway.
don't
Why
control
doesn't
us.
that bother you?
Our presidents don't go kiss the wall over there because they
500,000
don't control us.
Americans
You
liberated
calm
Europe,
down.
All right, don't
liberated
all start
white people,
shouting
white
again.
Europeans.
All right.
You guys, excuse me, I'll finish.
Can you all, can you all be quiet, please?
You just talk and talk.
I
and
want
talk
to play
and you don't
another
shut
clip.
up.
I'm just
I want to play
they will
another
not
clip.
let me speak. They will
I
not
want
let
to
me
play
speak.
another clip.
They will
Don't
not
get
let me
me
speak.
again.
Look, I'm going to speak. So, Ben,
You
I want to
just
play a
speak for
clip.
5
This
minutes.
is this is slightly changing the topic a little bit, but still on Fuentes. I want to play something he said about populism and the potential alliance, which we may have seen a bit of, by the way, with Mamdani and Trump in the Oval Office. Let's take a listen.
Why don't we have populist Republicans and populist Democrats that just solve problems? Just solve problems for Americans. And by the way, I am willing to compromise with the left, 100%. I'll work with anybody. I saw the track AIPAC people. It's some progressive woman and some progressive gay guy. I'd work with them on shutting down AIPAC in a second, in a heartbeat. Same goes for Anna Kaspari and Cenk Uygur. They were in favor of democratic populism. They want to deliver health care. They want to deliver education. I would work with them in a second. In a second. A Zohran Mamdani all day.
No, I did think that was interesting in the context of what we saw in the Oval Office with Mamdani and Trump. Is it was a very unlikely camaraderie that developed after their private meeting, which was then on public display. What do you read into that, Ben? And this theory of the horseshoe effect, that populism on both sides can kind of converge for the greater good of America?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. I think Democrats that say that are full of it, and we saw that from what Mamdani said about the president after that meeting the next day when he attacked him yet again. I think that meeting that Donald Trump had was a smart one. The reason why is I think you meet with people that are politically the opposite of you. I don't care if it's Kim Jong-un or the guy Mamdani. I want to know my enemy. I want to know what they believe. I want to hear what they have to say. And I want to know how to beat them. I think studying people that are completely against you is an important thing in politics. I think it's actually one of the smartest things about Donald Trump is he's willing to meet with basically anyone, no matter who actually says he shouldn't have that meeting. World leaders, whether it's Putin. I think that is a smart move by a world leader. I also think that there's a real threat right now, as we've seen two declared socialists win in major cities in America as mayor, and we're seeing the Democratic Party implode. It is now run by socialists, Marxists, and communists. I've said this on your show, I think, a couple years ago. The Democratic Party is dead. It has been masquerading as socialist Democrats and communists as Democrats. Now they're just saying, screw it. This is just who we are. So I think that's an important meeting. But the idea that Democrats who just held America hostage and shut down our government just to score political points and literally vote against food stamps, the people they claim they want to feed, for example, and they wouldn't pay government workers, would somehow come together and work with Donald Trump, or as Fuentes described it, like that's a pipe dream based in total insanity. The Democratic Party is broken now. They're in their own civil war right now with AOC and the others. And so I can't imagine right now working with them because the party is trying to destroy. I mean, AOC literally is the leader, and Mamdani, and Chuck Schumer isn't extreme enough for the Democratic Party right now. I'm probably going to lose his leadership position.
But if they're so
and Nancy
extreme,
Pelosi's
but
called
Ben,
it
if
quits.
they're so extreme, why was Trump so cordial to him in public? Why did he say?
Because I think sometimes when you meet with somebody you're trying to figure out, you just don't walk in there like it's a fight and punch them in the face. You learn about them and figure them out and see what the real threat is and what they're about. I've debated a lot of liberals who I walk away from and I look at a buddy and I'm like, that person's insane. I mean, I'll do that today. I'll be like, man, I met with a lot of white supremacists today. I learned something about their hatred and their quote, America first. Like, I'm going to take something away from this hour and go, all right, there's a real threat here for people that are claiming that America first is white supremacy. Like, that's what they're masquerading it as.
When you tell us not to interrupt them, when he calls us white supremacists,
I think that Trump played Mamdani brilliantly.
Yeah, that's it's such a
Trump played Mamdani like a fiddle. Trump won.
It's not, but like that's what you guys are.
Keep doing that. Just keep doing it. Just
Trump
keep doing
won
it.
that interaction with Mamdani.
Making you look like the weasel
clearly,
you are.
because what Trump.
Dude, one of you couldn't even get my name right, and you're like, the weasel you are. You know nothing about me. You know nothing about me.
Your irrelevance is affecting my memory a little bit. You're a nobody.
All we hear from
Piers, I'm a nobody now. You're not going to do TV for a decade, but I'm a nobody now. Got it. That's good.
To be honest with you, you're all talking at the same time. I have no idea what any of you are saying.
May I say, Piers, may I say, Piers,
we're not. Like, why would you
Piers, may I
make such
say,
a ridiculous lie?
MAGA is Donald Trump, and Trump has rejected Tucker Carlson as a kook.
MAGA is MAGA.
Trump has rejected Fuentes and said he called him a kook. Yes, he did on Twitter, on X. And he said that he met Fuentes and he utterly repudiated him, and Kanye won't meet with any of these people. He kicked out Marjorie Taylor Greene with her laser
Marjorie
beams
Taylor
and
Greene's
Jews.
gone.
Trump is
Massey,
kicking, excuse me, Mr. Black. Excuse me, Mr. Black.
I didn't say
Trump
anything.
is
That's not
kicking
me.
out every
I didn't say
anti-Semite and
anything.
every.
Look how angry he
Trump
is,
is
by the way.
kicking
He's
out
like an
every
attack dog.
anti-Semite.
He's
Now,
on.
excuse me. Now, Piers, to answer your question, I think Trump played Mamdani like a fiddle. I think it was an act of political genius. What he basically did is understand that Mamdani appeals to only one set of people. I'm not talking to the Islamists who globalize the Intifada. Affordability, sustainability. Here in New York City, where I am right now, it really is an issue. And Trump's whole base are working class people who have been forgotten. Remember in 2017, his first inaugural, the invisible man will be invisible no more. He understands Mamdani has tapped into something. And much better to co-opt that agenda and say that the Republican Party are going to deliver affordability and against inflation and making groceries affordable. Trump is a master tactician. It took a genius to pull off that, because Mamdani wanted him to be the enemy, and Mamdani failed.
All right.
And of course, Mamdani the next day was...
All right, that's enough. Richie Black, your response.
All right, the truth is on our side. At the end of the day, I'm listening to these guys talk, and I'm thinking there's going to come a day, right, when we do assume power of the conservative movement, and they're going to have to look and say, wow, you know, all these thoughts we had, all these assumptions that we lobbied at them, all this criticism, we were actually wrong. They weren't white supremacists. They were really aiming to fix the problems that they were faced with. Moving forward, though, I don't know that having this debate is productive when, at the end of the day...
Black, what will you do? When you take control, what will you do? What are your policies? Go ahead. I'll let you speak. You said one day we're going to take control. What are your policies? Baking Jews as cookies? Just tell me. What are your policies?
I know what you're trying to do. It's the same old trope over and over.
What are your
and I would argue
policies,
the
Mr.
position.
Black? When you take control, what will you do with America? Go ahead.
I'm just making sure you're done. Are you done? Yeah, I was about to say cut off all foreign aid to Israel and influence from Israel.
Exactly.
That would be step number one.
That's $3 billion. That's 0.00001% of the $20 trillion GDP. Go ahead. That's one thing. Next.
Isn't it funny that the minute that we talk about ending a relationship with Israel, the minute we talk about ending the relationship with Israel, the moment we talk about ending the relationship with Israel, let me finish.
Rabbi, I want to hear what he says.
What's your
Rabbi, I
second
really want to hear what he
policy?
says.
You have no policy
Let
except
him
Israel
speak,
the Jews,
Rabbi
Jews,
Shmuley.
Israel the Jews.
We can't hear his policies if you
tried.
keep talking.
Okay, go ahead.
I was just saying it's quite funny that the minute we talk about ending relationships with Israel, the first thing Rabbi Shmuley does is talk about money.
Say your policies.
Because you keep speaking over him. So all I do is speak over him.
Yeah, I'm not doing this, Rabbi. I'm not doing this with you. I'm not doing this shouting match. This is exhausting.
He doesn't have
It's not about having
policy.
It's not about having policy. I have plenty, actually. But you.
So his whole policy is white supremacy. We're going to put the white people in charge. We're going to get rid of the Jews. We're going to defund Israel.
No, let them go, Jake. Let them go. They're really putting the clown mask on. Let them go.
Is all you do.
No,
We've both been very clear about it. I'm attacked by white supremacists all the time.
At all.
White supremacists, blah, blah. I named a few. Cut foreign aid, ban AIPAC from FAR. There's a couple right there.
There is no foreign aid. Elon Musk ended USAID.
Stop
there
printing
is no
money.
foreign aid.
Stop
you don't
printing
even read
money,
the
which
newspapers.
is
there is
yes,
no foreign policy.
There is foreign aid.
There is no foreign aid.
There is foreign aid.
AIPAC doesn't have to register. AIPAC doesn't have to register. Don't neglect that AIPAC does not have to register, by the way. Throwing that out there.
Okay.
Is AIPAC the Jews? Is that your real
People
question?
like you cause way more anti-Semitism than me, Rabbi Shmuley.
All right. I have no idea what any of you are talking
something?
about.
Blame me. It's like,
So-
I know. We Jews are responsible for anti-Semitism. My yarmulke, my existence
White
is why
supremacist,
you
white-
hate me.
yeah,
And that's
guys
true.
like you.
Listen. No, I get it. Listen,
Jews.
I asked you for your
Here's a solo,
I asked you
bro.
for
I
your
don't have hate in my
policies,
heart.
and the only thing you have is an obsession with me. And you know what it is? You guys are so
I
jealous,
named a few,
so
but you kept
envious.
cutting
The
me off,
Jews
so I
are
didn't get
just
to name
the
more.
Jews. You guys are
I'm
obsessed
really
with us. You know
jealous
what?
of
Mr.
you.
Black, you know what?
Pierce.
I'm not that
Jealous of you.
important.
Can I say one
All right,
thing?
I want to end with a, I want to end with a final
Nobody
question.
is
I want to
jealous
end with a
of
final
you.
question
You sell
for everybody.
sex toys
I
with
want a
your
one.
daughter.
I
That
want a
is disgusting.
one-line
I have a
answer from all
daughter
of
too.
you. All right, Jake, who's going to be the next president of the United States?
Thomas Massey, hopefully.
Ben?
I'm going to be honest with you. I have no idea, and I don't think anybody else does either right now. It's way too far away.
Give me a name.
Who's on the short list?
No, who do you think at the moment would be your favorite to win?
My favorite would be Ted Cruz.
Okay. Rabbi Shmuley.
Oh, my God.
My good friend Robert Kennedy Jr. I think first of all, he's a great supporter of Israel for all those who hate Israel. I think that I don't agree with everything on vaccines. I'm fully vaxxed, but I think that Bobby does get Generation Z, Generation X. I think he has that mystique. And finally, I think he's extremely authentic. But I would also like to see Rubio or Ted Cruz, but Bobby would be my first choice.
Okay. And Richie Black.
What is the question? The question is
Who
do I
will be
think
the next president of the United
president?
States in 2028?
Not who I want, but who I think will be.
Who do you think will be? Yeah.
Yeah, J.D. Vance, and I'm not happy about it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I gave who I wanted, so...
Okay, well, who do you think it'll
I doubt
be?
it'll be Thomas Massey, so I don't... if I had to guess, I'd probably say J.D. Vance, too, but... it's hard
Okay,
to
well,
say.
out of interest, Richie Black, who do you want it to
I don't
be?
know. It might be Massey, though. I think things are changing so much. People are
Well,
getting
we'll see.
so
I mean,
sick of Israel.
in a way, we've seen how split the party.
Seeing how they're our top
We've seen
spy
how split the
expert.
right
They
is in
stole our
America in this
military
debate.
secrets and tell them they stole our nuclear secrets.
Okay, Richie
They
Black.
just screw us over and
Richie
over.
Black, out of interest, who do you want to be?
Obviously, I would vote for Massey, but you know
Fuentes,
what? At the end of the day,
Don't you want Fuentes to be your president?
no, I don't. Shut up.
What happened
Shut
to Nick
up.
Fuentes?
You're so
What happened to
annoying. You're
little
such a
Nicky?
worm.
What
You
happened
just
to
shut
Nicky?
up for a second.
What
Shut
happened
up.
to little Nicky?
Stop talking, okay?
Yeah, you know
Massey,
what? That's a
Massey
great bit of
obviously-
advice for
What happened to your
absolutely everybody on the panel.
We need a
Stop
mute button for
talking.
Shmuley.
Stop talking. Thank you all very much. Piers Morgan Uncensored is proudly independent. The only boss around here is me. If you enjoy our show, we ask for only one simple thing. Hit subscribe on YouTube and follow Piers Morgan Uncensored on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And in return, we will continue our mission to inform, irritate, and entertain. And we'll do it all for free. Independent, uncensored media has never been more critical, and we couldn't do it without you.